You're watching 10 at 10 on CBS 4.
She's a casino showgirl who appears to have won the beauty jackpot. But as Steve found out, appearances can be deceiving. Steve?
Nicole, we see her winning smile, but the truth is her life itself was once a gamble, and the odds were not pretty. She's a showgirl at Jumer's Casino.
It is fun. It's like you're on red carpet.
And a champion fitness model.
For me to get up on stage in a little piece of material, it didn't seem like something I would do.
But Lynn Eveleth is still fighting a battle.
Sometimes I'm fearful. Absolutely. I wouldn't be human if I wasn't.
That began over 20 years ago.
Well, it was when she was about 16 years old, and all of a sudden her nose started bleeding, and it wouldn't stop. And it kept bleeding and bleeding where it was out of control. So we had to take her to the emergency room.
Bleeding internally, her mom says doctors removed Lisa's spleen. She seemed okay until years later in college.
I was chronically fatigued all the time. I mean, my mouth was, extremely raw, the roof of it. My gums, my lips were getting bloody.
She was teaching fitness classes and working toward her master's degree.
I'd wake up with a swollen lip, or I'd wake up with a swollen eye shut. I'd wake up with, a mound on my elbow.
Clearly, something was wrong. She went to her school health center for help.
And they had diagnosed me with mono and sent me on my way.
Becoming sicker and sicker, she was fighting a foe no one could find until another trip to the emergency room.
The ER docs immediately kind of suspected lupus.
A condition with no cure.
Lupus is an overactive immune system, and your body creates antibodies against itself. So almost as if you're allergic to yourself.
A diagnosis that cut like a dagger.
It's chronic. This is my life. This is my new life, So that was, tough for me to accept.
The medicines they tried didn't work. She was out of school and in a wheelchair.
My legs were about this big around, and it was just my muscle mass was gone.
She was also having seizures. In her mid-20s and fading fast, doctors upped the ante.
So the chemotherapy was to try to suppress the immune system, blast it, to kind of reboot itself, start over, start fresh.
She went down to 72 pounds. She lost all her hair. She was in bad shape.
There was definitely times I didn't want to be here anymore. I have to admit, I prayed to die,
She was in ICU about 4 weeks, and we really thought she was going to die at that time.
It was the mid-90s. Finally, a breakthrough. She responded well to the chemo and slowly regained strength. And while the last few years have been good, the lupus is not gone.
I do monthly intravenous treatments to calm the immune system down.
That, combined with other medicines, is working well.
What I went through, it doesn't define me.
Because over time, Lisa has taken back her life.
I'm proud of her. I'm amazed, actually.
Now a showgirl in sequins and a feathery headdress.
And you just feel like a celebrity.
And a champion fitness model.
I never thought that I would even be able to show my muscle mass, let alone get to that point from where I was.
Because where she was,
never give up.
And where she is,
keep pushing through,
are two very different places. Lisa is an amazing woman. She spends a lot of her time these days creating awareness about lupus, and as one part of that, she's helping put together a 5K lupus fundraising run for next May.
And there's a lot more to her story.
Oh, there is. For example, she's been married for 15 years, and we've included her husband's thoughts on her lifelong battle as web extras on CBS4QC.com.
Thank you, Steve. What a wonderful story. And you're still in contact with her, and we'll continue to follow her story.
Yep, we certainly will.